a few things that as a business owner and a mom just make my life a little bit easier in the morning, make it more enjoyable, just overall make it better, easier for us to get our day rolling and for me to be a lot more productive. And clearly this is not that. I know this is gonna sound silly and super obvious, but just having my French press ready to go in the morning and not having it still have yesterday's coffee grounds in it, it makes a huge difference to my morning, just knowing that all of my coffee stuff is set up and ready to go. And along with that, I make sure that I have my heated water pitcher already full. It's just one less thing that I have to do in the morning, and I think that's a really big key to my mornings. It's not necessarily everything that I'm doing in the morning that makes the day so much better. It's what I'm doing the night before that is setting us up for a really smooth morning. It's taking out some of those steps that I'm not gonna have to worry about in the morning and just makes it easier and more enjoyable. So just having my coffee like ready to go is a big part of that. And another way that I also do that, if I'm not wanting to have hot coffee, is by making sure that I'm using my iced coffee pitcher. So this is a cold brew pitcher, it's super cheap on Amazon. And if I have this filled up and ready to go and it's already steeped and in my fridge, it makes that whole just like making my coffee in the morning faster, easier. And I don't have to worry about like trying to ice my hot coffee if I'm not wanting hot coffee. So it's just thinking through those little things the night before that make a really big difference. So obviously, having my kitchen be clean and pulled together is one big thing that I do to help my mornings to run smoother and help me to be less frustrated. Oh, that's so much better. It's a huge game changer for just my mentality, walking down and knowing like, everything is just beautiful and lovely, but also just knowing that that isn't weighing on me throughout the day. I think that's especially a problem for work from home parents and moms. When you're here and you know that all of those other household tasks are weighing on you, you can feel divided and like you need to be doing all the things at the same time. And that's just not realistic. And so when you're able to get those things done the night before and not be worrying about them in the morning, it makes a big difference for you to actually be able to focus on the work that you need to get done when you're in your work day. So when I can come down in the morning and everything is pretty and pulled together, it just makes a huge difference to my psyche and my productivity. Another thing, and it's probably one that none of us really want to hear, is getting up before our kids in the morning. Now, I know that's not realistic for a lot of parents because their kids are little and they get up at insane hours and all of that. And luckily, I don't have that problem. It's actually pretty easy at this point with the ages of my kids and all of that to be able to get up before they do. But just getting up when it's still quiet, especially for me as a voice actor, that's pretty paramount, that I'm being able to get out into my studio before they're up and moving around and making noise. But even if I weren't doing that, even if it were just a day where I was working on the computer, being able to have those focused hours where nobody is interrupting me makes a huge difference because I don't have to worry about being interrupted, being frustrated by not being able to focus on what I'm doing. I can just fully like deep dive into my work, which is huge for me. So I know we don't want to hear about that, but getting up before the kids, and for me, that means getting right into work. Now, this is another point that I am going to make is getting ready for the day. I definitely feel different when I do my hair and I put on my makeup and I am wearing clothes that I feel good in, not just necessarily, like my athletic wear that I feel comfortable in, but things that I actually feel pulled together in. It helps me to be more productive. But especially in the summer, I don't necessarily do that first thing in the morning because I want to maximize the amount of time I am able to work before those kids are up. So pretty much when I get up in the morning, I get up, I brush my teeth, I make my coffee, and I get straight to work. I don't get dressed, I don't get all ready, I jump straight in the studio and I get as much done as I possibly can before they're up. Then when they're up and around and they're wanting breakfast and that sort of thing, I can jump back and forth between getting myself ready and pulled together for the day and also helping with breakfast and answering questions and giving the hugs and snuggles before I'm getting back into work. But it makes a really big difference for me if I'm able to get up before them, get straight to work for a little while, and then get ready sort of around the same time that they are getting ready in the morning. And then I can transition back into doing more work, but hopefully I've gotten a lot of the things done that I need to have quiet and focus time for. Another thing that we need to be thinking about the night before is getting enough sleep and getting good quality sleep. So going to bed early enough, which I know can be a challenge, but if we are going to be getting up early in the morning so we can get straight to work, we have to be going to bed earlier, and then getting that really good quality sleep. I have my sleep routine like down to a science. Maybe at some point I will do a video just about that. But I take my bath and I have my room the right temperature. I have my weighted blanket. I use the little sleep meditation as I'm going to sleep. I take my magnesium and all of those things. So I set myself up for the best possible night's sleep that I can get, so that I actually can get up in the morning and feel energized when I'm getting up to do all the things that I need to do. So I know it's another one of those things that we don't really want to hear. We don't want to go to bed early, especially like right now. It's summer. I want to be staying up later. My kids are staying up later, but I really have to be getting enough rest so that I can do what I need to do every day. I know these things may sound really simple and really obvious, but they just make such a difference for me when I'm getting up in the morning, especially because I am not a morning person. I am a night owl. I had arranged my hours in college so that I could go to bed by 2 a.m. and still get 8 hours of sleep. Like, that is the person that I am. But at the place I'm in my life right now, that's just not practical. And so doing these little things that make the morning a little bit easier, a little bit more enjoyable, and nice to look forward to, it just has made such a difference in how I go about my workday. I also want to give this caveat. It a lot of times looks like it did at the beginning of this video. I don't always get the kitchen clean, and I also employ my children to do a lot of these things as well. The only reason I didn't show my son doing the dishes is because he was behind the camera, which is so unfair, but he is actually doing a lot of that a lot of the times. And my girls, I try to get to help out with things too, but sometimes it comes down to it that my bath feels like more of a priority than getting the dishes done. But when I do these things at night, when I set myself up for success, it makes such a difference in my morning. I can see the difference because I experience both. So I'm trying to lean more towards getting the things done and setting myself up for a good morning, but you also don't have to beat yourself up if they don't always happen. Hopefully this was helpful. You can start thinking about things that make a difference to your morning in your particular life situation. I would love to hear what some of them are. Pop them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.